In a world often marked by chaos and uncertainty, the Book of Ruth shines like a beacon of hope. It's a story of loyalty, love, and redemption, a tale that reminds us that even in the darkest times, God is at work, weaving together the threads of our lives for His purposes. Set in the turbulent era of the Judges, Ruth's story stands out as a quiet yet powerful testament to faith, kindness, and God's providence. Our story begins in tragedy. A famine forces Naomi, her husband, and their 2 sons to leave Bethlehem and settle in Moab. In time, Naomi's husband dies, and her sons marry Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. But then, the unthinkable happens, both sons also die, leaving Naomi and her daughters-in-law widowed and vulnerable. Naomi, broken and bitter, decides to return to Bethlehem, urging Orpah and Ruth to stay in Moab. Orpah agrees, but Ruth clings to Naomi, uttering those unforgettable words, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." Ruth's loyalty is a profound example of selfless love and commitment. Back in Bethlehem, Ruth takes the initiative to provide for Naomi. She goes to the fields to glean leftover grain, a practice God commanded to care for the poor. As fate, or rather, providence, would have it, she finds herself in the field of Boaz, a wealthy and kind relative of Naomi's family. Boaz notices Ruth and shows her extraordinary kindness, ensuring her safety and providing abundantly for her and Naomi. This moment reminds us that God often works through the kindness of others to meet our needs. Naomi, seeing Boaz's kindness, devises a plan. She instructs Ruth to approach Boaz and ask him to be their kinsman redeemer, a family protector who would marry Ruth and restore their family line. Ruth obeys, and Boaz, moved by her courage and virtue, agrees to help. But there's a catch: there's a closer relative who has the first right to redeem them. Boaz promises to resolve the matter, and Ruth waits in faith. This moment teaches us the power of boldness rooted in trust and humility. Boaz confronts the closer relative, who declines to redeem Naomi's land and marry Ruth. With this obstacle removed, Boaz marries Ruth, and they have a son named Obed. For Naomi, this child is a symbol of God's restoration, a reminder that He can turn bitterness into joy. But the story doesn't end there. Obed becomes the grandfather of King David, placing Ruth in the lineage of Jesus Christ. What began as a story of loss and despair ends with redemption and eternal significance. The Book of Ruth is a masterpiece of storytelling, but it's also a mirror for our lives. It shows us that God is present in the ordinary moments, in the fields, in the relationships, in the decisions we make. Ruth's loyalty, Naomi's transformation, and Boaz's kindness all point to a greater truth: God is at work, even when we can't see it. Ruth's story also reminds us that no one is beyond God's redeeming love. A Moabite woman, an outsider, becomes an integral part of God's plan. Her life is a testament to the truth that God's grace knows no boundaries. As we close this chapter, let's ask ourselves, where do we see God's hand in our own stories? Are we willing to trust Him, even in the midst of loss and uncertainty? And are we, like Ruth, committed to walking in faith and love, no matter the cost? Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Book of Ruth. May its lessons inspire you to live with loyalty, trust in God's providence, and embrace the redemption He offers. Please like, subscribe and share to participate in spreading the Word of God.